Okay, well, there is a wonderful and wide world of giant movies. Now, these movies are, there's a lot of different ones centered around different giants, but mostly what we're focusing on here is humanoid giant movies. They're particularly strange. Now, there's a bunch of different movies, of course, but there is a certain level of different types of giant movies, particularly two main ones I want to focus on. They are quite interesting. In fact, I would say on the most individual basis, both of them are fairly good. But there's other ones too, of course. You got your Attack on Titans, a legendary anime series based around giant human like beings that are sort of creepy, and the idea of these giant all powerful beings is quite scary. You got a myriad of different giant creature movies, also known as like kaiju and Godzilla, and a movie called Troll Hunter. It's just a giant troll. They'll probably make a movie on its own. But there's other many different types of movies. Another one I want to first focus on is the giant woman type movies. Now, it's no secret what these movies are getting at, and one of the most famous ones is the 1958 movie Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, and also a Attack of the 50-Foot Woman in 1993, and also a 2022 movie called Attack of the 50-Foot Cam Girl, and that has some legendary scenes, including this absolutely gem of a scene that I'll play right now.
Man wants.
What's that?
You tried so many times and I turned you down, but now I'm ready for it.
Oh, no.
Oh yes.
No, no, no!
What's your fantasy, Bradley?
2 girls!
Hashtag TTYL, Bradley. Oh no!
Death by motorboat.
The ultimate way to go.
Obviously, we know what these movies are getting at, and there's even other ones like Giantess's Attack that are so cheaply and utterly terribly made that it's almost comical. In fact, I would say that comedy is kind of what they're getting at in the first thing of these movies. And this follows all the way into games with a much anticipated games by a certain particular group of people, and a very fascinating idea nonetheless called Giantess's Playground, of a just a giant woman destroying her way through a giant city. And yeah, you can see where the appeal here comes from. And in all these Attack of the 50-Foot Woman type movies, you know what they're getting at. You know that a giant woman is not something nearly as scary as a giant Godzilla destroying a city, for obvious Gunnar like reasons. But I wanted to focus on two particular movies. These movies are two just random giant movies that came out and had CGI fest giants in them, and they both are differing in quality. That movies are Jack and the Giant Slayer as well as BFG. Now, BFG is definitely on the weirder side, but we'll start with Jack and the Giant Slayer. Jack and the Giant Slayer is an absolutely amazing movie. It's actually like Lord of the Rings meets Jack and the Beanstalk, which is a very weird correlation, but it's literally what they almost set out to do in the first place. It has a lowly peasant trying to go about, his way in the world, and comes across some magic beans. Tale as old as time. Shoots off into the beans shoot off into the sky and creates a dilemma between the different kingdoms of the giants and the people down below. Now, the casting for Jack and the Giant Slayer is incredible. I mean, you got Nicholas Hoult as Jack. He's fantastic as always. You got Warwick Davis is in there. You've got Ewan Bremer as Wickel. He's always a identifiable face. You got Ian McShane as the king. There's just like there's so many great actors, but I mean, you literally cannot, without a shadow of doubt, talk about this movie without Obi-Wan himself, Ewan McGregor. He's just like a night guy, and he is so fantastic in this movie. I absolutely friggin' loved Ewan McGregor in this. And it's actually pretty gruesome at parts. You know, you got giants eating people and stepping on people, and there's big battle at the end, and giants are burning. It's pretty crazy, but I mean, like I said, it literally is like they set out to make Lord of the Rings meets Jack and the Beanstalk story. It's insane, but yeah, I mean, like it is almost like a movie. It's like who came up with the idea to make this movie? How did they get funding for it? And how did it happen? There's some nice armor. There's some nice sets in this. There's some very, very nice practical effects and set. And like I said, sets, armor, it just is like crazy quality. So I mean, it's like the CGI is pretty good too. So it's like, how did they even make that? And the hilarious thing too is that like this movie came out in 2013 before like the quote unquote woke era of modern entertainment, and like it's not woke at all. I think like during the entire like historical parts, there's not a single black person in the entire movie, which is absolutely insane. That they, you know, like, this is the way movies were made back then. Now, of course, at the end, spoiler alert, it kind of like fast forwards to modern history, and like this was happened in history kind of thing. And you've got a more modern setting, and you know there's other people of diverse cultures. But man, what a movie to come out with, and like you literally go through the movie and like, wait a second, there's not a single black person in this entire. There's not like you're looking around. There's no gay people. It's like what is occurring here? Ewan McGregor as a valiant knight in a giant movie randomly is absolutely amazing, and I'd watch the movie just for Ewan McGregor prancing around alone. I mean, Nicholas Hoult is good as well, but and there's some epic battle scenes. But yeah, it's a good movie. I would classify it thoroughly in the 8 out of 10 category. Surprising random movie, and that a lot of people probably didn't know existed. But yeah, Jack and the Giant Slayer is pretty good. The next movie is absolutely hilarious and ridiculous as well, and that is the movie The BFG. Now, the 2016 movie The BFG is just an absolutely ridiculous movie. Like I said, it is so weird and uncanny. It is, I think it's based on like a child book story series or something like that. But there's no notable actors really to say at all in the movie. But I mean, like the 90% of the movie is CGI. Like it's very, very weird. So what happens is like this young girl wakes up in this orphanage, and she sees a giant, and the giant takes her away and runs away. Now the beginning is actually kind of creepy as hell, because you have a like giant like hiding amongst the streets and the dark streets, and like going around where people can't see him. It is very, very weird, and you just got to watch the movie to see what I'm talking about. It's so weird. I mean, it's just the whole movie is ridiculous. It's insanely weird, and at times I would say pretty creepy. I mean, like for many, many reasons alone. Not to mention the giant, you know, just having like a little pet, little girl of his own. It's very, very odd. And the movie keeps just getting weirder as eventually the BFG, this like friendly giant kind of thing, who's just very odd old man giant dude, he kind of like he kind of like comes back to the modern world, and he's meeting the queen, and there's these really bizarre scenes where he's kind of just like in this throne room like talking to them, and it's just very, very, very weird. And the BFG himself, the giant, talks in this very obnoxiously weird way. He's like scrumdiddly umptiously goofily, you know, like it's very, very, very odd. there is an incredibly weird, stupid scene too at the end where the giant has this like kind of like farting um, juice or something, and he gives it to the queen, and the queen and all the queen's corgis and like all the generals are all farting, and it's like this weird like lightning fart that he gives them, and it's a very stupid scene. It's hilariously stupid, especially when CGI corgis just go farting through the throne room. It's very odd. So yeah, the BFG is just a ridiculously strange movie, but you know what? It's kind of entertaining at that same time too. It's like, how did they even make this? It's so strange. It's like it doesn't make any sense at all that people actually got together and made the movie. The BFG talks weird. There's actually like evil giants too that are like so unmenacing at the end of the day that they barely even do anything. The movie gets very boring in like the second act where they're just kind of like going back and forth between the bad giants and the good giants, and then it gets to the weird part where the giant goes and meets the queen in the modern, and they're like they do like a tactical ops operation into giant land where they're like stringing, like I'm pretty sure that a helicopter couldn't carry a giant that is like like probably like hundreds and hundreds of tons. I'm pretty sure those helicopters don't carry that. Like the soldiers like landing in the giant lands alone is an odd thing. So I mean, you just gotta see the movie to see what I'm talking about. So yeah, there are some ridiculous giant movies out there. The BFG is definitely one of them, and all those weird women giant movies. Yeah, like they're pretty much only CGI movies. But you have to give these two movies credit, Jack and the Giant Slayer and the BFG. They just made a movie about CGI giants, and for that you really can't fault them, can you? And that's my review on random giant movies. They're just a random thing that people have there, like, hey, let's make a movie about giant people type thing. Some of them are CGI, some of them are giant women. I'm sure that there's plenty of movies with giants in them. They're not a part of the central plot. But yeah, Jack and the Giant Slayer is a surprisingly good movie, which I can only describe as them coming out with an idea saying, "Hey, what if Jack and the Giant Slayer in Lord of the Rings? And let's make a movie like that." The very, very, very weird world of giant movies.